Hi, lovelies. You're welcome back to my channel. My name is Eunice. In this video, I'll be sharing with us how I made this short, stylish, beautiful gown you see right here on the mannequin. In my previous video, I showed us how to draft and cut this gown. So this is the sewing video. I did some alterations on this gown to achieve what you see right here on the screen. So I had to make this gown twice. I'll be showing us how I did this and why I had to alter this gown to achieve this look you see right here. If this is something you're interested in learning, please make sure to keep on watching till the end. And if you're yet to subscribe to my channel, please kindly click on the subscribe button to subscribe. And ensure you put on your notification bell so you get a notification every time I upload a new video. Without wasting time, let's get right into the video. Okay, so I have all pieces ready. The front pieces, I've ironed hasty to it and I've also padded up the front pieces. Okay, this is our centerpiece. It is well padded. I have a detailed video on how to perfectly pad up your bustier and it is live on my channel already. I'm going to drop the link to this video in the description box and also in the comment section. So please do well to click on the link to watch how to perfectly pad up your bustier. So like I already said that this is the sewing video. So we're going to be stitching all our pieces together. So right now I'm going to place, this is our centerpiece. I'm going to place the side piece over it this way. And then I'll stitch on 1/2 inch from the down part up to the upper part this way. I'll repeat the same thing on the second side. And I also do the same thing on the lining. Then I'll be right back to show us how we're going to place the lace on the bustier. So I'll do that and come back. So I'm done stitching the bustier and this is me going ahead to notch the seam lines. The first thing I did was to notch the under bust. You see, you want to make sure to notch the under bust first and then I'm notching the seam lines. This is so that I have this very nice and relaxed look so that it doesn't gather at the under bust point. You don't want to have any strain there, okay? So I'm going ahead to press the seam lines open using my bust ham. You see, you want to make sure to press this very well. So now you can see I placed it on the table from the under bust point down to the half length. I pressed it on a flat surface while the part with the bust, that's the cup area, I pressed it on the bust ham. Can you see? So you want to be careful with this. So the part that does not have the pad, I pressed it on the table to create that break under the bust. That's at the under bust point. And now this is me cutting out my paper stay. I'm going to cut out 2 pieces. I'll use this to keep the seam lines open. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm using it to keep the seam lines open. And this paper stay has a gum on one side. So I'm placing the side with the gum to face the pad. This is to keep our seam lines open. When you keep the seam lines open, it gives you a very neat finishing in front. So you don't have any part folding. And this is what we have right now. Then I turned it to the right side and I'm also giving it a very, very nice press. Okay, and you see after pressing it, then I've placed it on the flat surface, then I'm ironing the sides. Can you see? So not the part with the cup. You want to make sure to iron this flat side well. And this is what our bustier looks like after giving it a very good press. Can you see how nice and beautiful it is sitting? Very, very beautiful. And you can see the underbust point is very obvious. So this is the part I'm talking about that you iron on a flat surface, not the part with your cup. You see how well molded it is. So if you iron it properly with your bust ham, everything is going to come out really, really, really beautiful. So I've also joined my lining. I'm also going to give it a good press like this. Of course, the lining does not have a pad on it or wording on it, but we're going to be pressing the seam lines open and then I'll go ahead and turn the neckline. So after turning the neckline, this is what I have. Can you see how beautiful it's sitting? Came out really beautiful. So you can see that this bustier, it can be worn without a bra. So this will come out perfectly well even without a bra. So the next thing we're going to do now is to place the lace on the bustier. First, I notch the center front at the down part, and I'm also going to do the same thing. I knot the center front at the down part, that's at the half length here. So I'll be placing our lace fabric. So first, I'm going ahead to align the part I notched here at the down part. So I'm just going to pin the lining and the fabric together. Can you see? So you want to make sure that every point is aligned here on the waistline. So I'm just going to pin the hem here. Then after pinning it, I'll go ahead and start stretching out the lace fabric. Take note of the underbust point. You don't want to do it in a way that you have any gathering anywhere. Make sure that you're stretching out your lace so that it sits really flat and nice. Can you see? So I'll pin the sides. So just taking my time to stretch it out. Then I'm going to have an excess at the upper part here. That's at the bust area here. And that's the bust dart. So I'll have to fold in that bust dart and then I'll cut it out later. So you can either just fold it in like you have stitched your dart. Then you have to use you have to cut out lace patches and close up this dart. Can you see what I'm doing? So I'm just folding in that 1 inch. So you can see that if you don't fold it, it will look bulgy around there. So I'm going ahead to fold in the 1 inch. That's the bust dart for this client I'm making this outfit. So I'm just going to fold it in like this and then use my pins to secure it down. I'll repeat the same thing on the other side and then I'll show us the next thing to do. Okay, I'm done pinning the lace. So this is me going ahead to cut the dart. Can you see how I'm cutting out the bust dart? And then I'm going ahead to overlap the lace at that side. So I'll repeat the same thing on the other side. Can you see? I'll cut out the dart. Can you see what the excess I have on it? So I'm just cutting it out and then it stops just before the bust point and then I'll overlap it also using the pin. So this will be stitched. You can hand tack it or you just stitch it like a dart, but I'll make sure to cut out the lace patches to cover up that area. You're not going to leave the dart like that. That place we cut out, okay? So right now I am done stitching the lace and the fabric together and I use the lining to turn the sides. And this is what I have. And I've also stitched the armhole. That's I've joined the lace at the armhole area that stitched it to the bustier and also used bias to turn the neckline. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to sew the back pieces. I'll stitch my darts on the lining and on the main fabric and then I'll place the lace for the back as well and then I'll show us the next thing to do. After stitching the darts on the lining and fabric separately, next, I'm going to place the lace fabric over the satin like this. As you can see, the satin is shorter than the lace fabric, so the upper part is giving that illusion feel. So the next thing I'm going to do is to place the lining. Now take note, my satin is underneath, then the lace is on top of the satin, and then this is my lining. So can you see I shifted the lace away and I'm pinning the lining to the upper part of the satin. That's to turn the upper part. Okay, and then I'm going to stitch this on 1/2 inch. You see, I'll stitch this on 1/2 inch. Next, I'm going to stitch the center back here where I have the lace. I'll stitch and stop exactly where the lining is, where I pinned the lining. I will go stitch it and come back and show us how to turn the lining completely. As you can see, I'm done stitching the lining at the upper part and I've also stitched the lace to the center back. So I'm going to use the lining to turn the center back. Can you see what I just did? First, I shifted the lace fabric away. Can you see how I shifted it away at the edge here? And then I'm going to use my pin to secure it. So this is so that it doesn't go in where it's not supposed to go in. That's just it. Just shift it. And then I'll place the lining on the right side of the lace and I'll stitch the center back. I will also use it to turn the side of the other side back. I'll repeat the same thing on the other side. And then I will go ahead and join the front and back together, join the shoulders together. And see, can you see that I've stitched the backs already, the center back and the side back. And then I joined the shoulders together. I did the same thing on this side, and then I went ahead to fix the basic sleeve to the armhole. You see? So that's just it. So the next thing I'm going to do is to place this right side facing right side. That's the right side of the back facing right side of the front. And I'm going to stitch on the sewing allowance I added. I'm going to stitch this. That's I'm basically shaping the upper part. As you can see, I've already marked my sewing allowance. So I'll take this to my sewing machine and stitch on this sewing allowance already marked from the sleeve opening down to the waistline. I'll do the same thing on the other side, and then I'll come back to show us how we're going to be fixing the down part. For the down part, the first thing I'm going to do is to hem the satin, and I'll also hem the lining. Next, I'm going to place the lace over the satin. I place the wrong side of the lace on the right side of the satin, and then I'm going to stitch them together. After stitching them together with my normal stitch, then I'm going to run a loose stitch, a gather stitch on the upper part of the lace and the satin together. This is so that we can gather it to the waist measurement, and this waist measurement we are gathering it to is 33 inches. That's including the zip allowance. And as you can see, I have gathered it and I have stitched it to the upper bodice. This is what we have. I am yet to stitch the lining to it. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is to flip the down part to face the upper part. That's right side of the down part facing the right side of the upper part. Next, I'll bring in my lining. Now the lining is facing the lining. Can you see? This is so that we can turn the waistline neatly. We want to do inseam finishing on this waistline. So I'm going to arrange my gathers on the lining to make sure that it fits into that 33 inches, which is what we have here. And then I will stitch them together. Okay. So after stitching them together, the right thing to do is to turn the center back and then go ahead and give it a good press before fixing the zipper at the center back. But this is where the alteration came in. After I was done stitching this waistline and fixing the zipper, I realized that the waistline was the gathers was giving that big tummy look. It was giving that big tummy look. This is because this outfit stopped, or the half length stopped exactly on the half length. That's on the high waistline. But to achieve a more final look and a more relaxed look, and to give that flat tummy effect, instead of giving the big tummy effect to the person that doesn't have a big tummy, I had to cut a band. I had to cut a band of 4 inches in length. So you can see I've loosed the upper bodies already. I've loosed out the gathers. So I had to cut a band, and now the band, I laminated the band with the lace. That I placed the lace underneath or on top of the satin, so that it still gives us that same effect. And then I cut the second one, which is going to serve as the lining. So this is the band I'm talking about, and it is 4 inches in length. I'll be using this to increase the half length, so that the half length gets to the tummy. I hope this makes sense. So I'll be stitching this band to the half length here, and this will actually help to increase the half length so that it comes down to the belly button. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'll place the band right side of the band facing right side of the upper bodies, and I'm going to stitch it on half inch like this. So after stitching it, I'm going to place the lining. So I can stitch all three of them together. The lining will be on the lining side, while the lace will be on the lace side. Lace facing lace, lining facing lining, if that makes sense. Okay. So I'm going to first of all pin this part down. I want to make sure that it aligns, and then I will place the lining on the other side, that's on the reverse side, which is the lining side. Okay, so this is me trimming out the excess of the band. So I'll place the lining on the other side, and then I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and stitch all three of them together. I will use this lining to turn the center back of that's the center back of the band, and then I'll go ahead and sew the gathers to the waistline, just like I initially told us I was going to do. I'll sew the gathers to the waistline, and this is it right now. I am done stitching it, and you can see how the waistline comes down, and it is really coming out really well. Okay, I hope you can see the difference. So the I actually think that having the half length at the high waist, which is that's the upper half length, will actually fit a woman with a big tummy more than a woman with a flat tummy. For a woman with a flat tummy, the waistline actually needs to come down lower. Okay, so this is it now. So the next thing we are going to do, I won't be leaving this band just like that to show. I'm going to cut out, which I have already done. I am going to place the lace patches I cut out from the lace. I'll be using this to cover up the half length. You see, so this will give it another kind of, the style were replicated. That's what they did. They cut out patches from their lace and they placed it on the waistline. So that's what I'm doing here. So it will just give us the navy blue look just on the waistline. It's not going to, we're not going to be seeing the nude satin underneath the that's on the waistline area. I hope that makes sense. So I'm just going to pin it as much as I can here. I'm just going to place them to overlap on each other, and I'll be using needle and thread to tack it very, very well. It is better to use needle and thread to tack it so that it lasts longer. Okay, so this is what our gown looks like after tacking it. So I would like you to let me know which one you prefer. Would you rather have your half length higher or lower? And what do you think about this change? If you actually enjoyed watching this video, please make sure to like this video, share this video with your friends. Do not forget, do not hesitate to subscribe to my channel, and also put on your notification bell so you get a notification every time I upload a new video. And please share this video, share this video, share this video. It's very important. Thank you so much, and see you in my next video. Bye.